Hello, class. In this video, I am going to go over basically some simple rules, very basic rules on how to use digital technology. I have AutoCAD up here on the screen to design and just basic procedures and things you really need to think about as you're moving along in your skills. So here I'm showing a house. It's not finished. It's what I'm working on. You can sort of see a living room, a kitchen, a bedroom. Um, this is meant to be big and open. I'm thinking a greenhouse out here somewhere eventually. And here's where I'm at. Here's where I'm working on. But I want to zoom out to sort of show you through some basic principles when looking at how to use something like AutoCAD. The same would apply to SketchUp or anything like that. And when you see this whole file, this is my design file. When you see the whole file, you can actually see there's a lot in here. And I want to say this, rule number one, never delete anything, at least when it's digital. It's like there's so much data out there, data's cheap. Don't erase things. As professors, we want to go back and look at them. You'll want to go back and look at them at some point in time, so never delete anything. And you can see this design file, I haven't really deleted anything. Are there exceptions to rules? Certainly, like your quick decisions. But as the most part, major decisions, just don't delete it. Just keep going on and going on. Now, if you're not going to delete anything, that leads us to the second rule. The second rule is you need some level of organization. So I work in AutoCAD very similarly to many people work sort of at this level, which is to say I sort of start at the top left and I draw things out. And I move over. So if I move to the right, it's a variation on what I'm looking at. Here it has to do with some rotation of the house and porches and things. And then I pull down the one that I like downward. So in this case, I know just the way I work that this was the one that I wanted to follow up with next because it's the leftmost one aligns with that one above. And then I looked at a couple variations. I don't remember what they are, but I went over and then I said, you know what? I looked at whatever I was looking at there. I still like this one the best. Pull it down, look at more variations. I looked at whatever I was looking at here, a lot of variations, but turned out this was the one I liked better. So I copied it down and then went over. Then I started to study some more abstract things with angles, right? So this one came out, angles came down, and I had to do a bunch of research around there, and so on and so forth. Went all the way around, looking at tiny little details sometimes big moves. Oh, I like that one, pull down, study a bunch, because I wanted to study a bunch of other things. Looks like stairs in this case. Oh, I like that one, pull down, come across here, right? Lots and lots of variation. Like this one pulled down. I still liked it. Didn't solve any problem there. It came down. And anyway, you can work through that process. So I can always track my thought process and always go back and know where I ended up. Right. So that again, rule number two, sort of stay organized. Come up with your own rules if you want, but I think the sort of work to the right, then copy down is a very common one. And find something that works for you. The third rule of sort of working at this early level of design in the computer is to keep things simple. You'll notice when we start all the way up at the top that they're just single lines, no layers even yet, haven't developed layers, some words so I can know what they are because I'm just getting a sense of scale and how I want basic organization. I don't want to be bogged down with double lines for walls, which is kind of trimming and filleting and thinking about the materials. None of that. It gets in the way of operating quickly. Like I can do a bunch of these drawings really quick to start to explore the way they want to go. And in this file, I haven't really got there. If I'm going to zoom all the way back down to sort of where I started, they're the last one, I should say. I started the video, but the last drawing, sort of where the design is starting to end. Like I still don't have double walls. I'm starting to use layers. I'm starting to use blocks to define room spaces. That helps me with not just visually, but create the spaces correctly and sort of all of those things. But I haven't even gone through. So the third rule is keep things simple and move quickly. Ultimately, I just have another quick file over here. You can see it sort of similarly starts similar. Eventually, you're going to get to sort of double line walls and layers and all of those things, but they come with time, and they can be integrated into your folder. So those are my three rules. Just really quick before ending this video, I just want to jump back to rule number two, which was organization. I showed organization in the CAD file. But it also requires organization sort of in your digital file structures as well. So we can see here the way I typically work is I'll have a folder I call this greenhouse, as I said, because the idea is that there's a greenhouse in the back, which I haven't gotten to yet. But in here I've got a SketchUp folder which actually works very, very similarly, and the AutoCAD folder, and that's it. The raw files that I'm actively working on. And then I've got some other folders. So I have archive, so I got some old SketchUp modeling and things in there. I've got input. So for like CAD, it might be blocks. I downloaded from the internet. That's what input is, but it could work for Illustrator or Photoshop. It's like, oh, I found this tree I'm going to import, right? Things like that could go there. Output would be who you're sending things out to. I had to make a PDF to send to someone. So that's going to be the output. And of course, precedence is always a good thing. So these are common folders I have in them. So my main folder has my core digital files. The core digital files has a record of the entire design in one file, and then the folders in there to sort of keep organized. Again, is it the way you have to do it? No, but it's a recommendation. And just keeping those things in mind are important moving forward to get to the more advanced stuff we're going to get in this class.